today I'm going to be doing something that is absolutely insane, and I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I want to do a mega palette bingo. I don't even think I can call this a palette bingo because bingo is supposed to be like 5 numbers or 5 shades, you know? So this is just like a mega random color challenge. I don't even know what I would call this, but basically my plan is going to be to draw a random shade from all of my Colourpop palettes, and then we're going to use all of those, I think 12 shades to do a look with. So I did a poll on my community tab. Again, if you're not already signed up for notifications on my channel, you might want to do that if you want to participate in these polls and stuff. But basically I asked if you guys wanted to see Juvia's Place or Colourpop, and after 800 votes, it was 50-50. So I was like sitting here waiting for like 2 hours, waiting for one of them to win, and eventually Colourpop ended up being 51%. So that's where we're at right now. So I'm going to use all of my Colourpop palettes. I am terrified. I don't know how this is going to go. But we're gonna just get into drawing these colors because I feel like this might end up being quite a long video. So how I'm going to do this is I'm not going to record the screen this time like I usually do, because I do have so many palettes with so many different numbers, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass to put all of that together in the video because that's a lot of work. So what I'm gonna do is I have my random number generator up here, so I'm just going to draw these shades from the palettes, and then after I've drawn them I will swatch them and all that stuff so we can see what we have to work with. So let's first start off with the Make Up Your Mind palette. So this one has 6 shades, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in 1 through 6, and then let's see if I can generate here and have you guys actually watch what I am doing. It might be kind of hard, I don't know. Let's see, we get number 4. So shade number 4 from this palette right here. I'm going to actually depot these and put them into a separate palette because they are depotable, so it's just going to be easier for me to not have to have 12 palettes laying out in front of me. So after every shade I draw, I'm just going to pop this out and put it into my other palette here. And then once we are done drawing, like I said, I will go ahead and swatch all of them and then kind of try to figure out a plan from there. Next up, let's move into the Orange You Glad palette, which is just the next one that's like on top of my pile here. So we're gonna go ahead and generate. I feel like this is a bad way to do it. I don't know how people do this and actually have you guys watch what is going on here. So let's go ahead and see if I can get a new shade. So the new shade is going to be number 9. So we have number 9 in the Orange You Glad palette, and that's going to be the shade right here. So I will say if I do end up getting some kind of a pressed glitter in any of these palettes, I'm going to draw again because I'm just not comfortable using pressed glitters, and I also don't want to have a pressed glitter when I know that I have 11 other shades to work with. So I am going to allow myself to draw again if I do end up getting a pressed glitter in these, just to not make my life miserable. So let's go into the Aha Honey palette here and see what we end up getting in that one. So again, we have 9 shade. I'm gonna go ahead and draw another number. So we have shade number 1. You probably cannot see that. I'm sorry if you can't see all of these. It's really hard to be able to make that show up on camera. So shade number 1 is going to be Stinger, which is this one up here. Then next up we have the Blue Moon palette, which I'm sure you have all seen. We're gonna go ahead and draw another shade here. And that's going to be shade number 6. And shade number 6 is Tide Pool, which is one of my favorite shades in this palette, so that's pretty cool that we got that. Whoa, that just popped right into my lap. Next up we got the It's My Pleasure palette, which is the purple palette, so let's see what we end up getting in this one. And we got shade number 6 in that one as well. So let's see, shade number 6 is another shimmer. It's a dark purple shimmer. This is already looking very interesting, but I will say that the color story so far is pretty good. Like, I'm not mad at this. It's just going to depend on what we end up getting down the line here, because I can definitely work with the ones that we have so far. I am definitely hoping for some more mattes though, because so far we only have 2. Next up, let's do the Smoke Sessions palette here, and I need to make sure that I'm actually pressing the button because I feel like last time maybe I wasn't. That definitely did it. So we have shade number 8 from the Smoke Show palette, which is another shimmer here, and it's this gray down here, which I actually think I used. Maybe I didn't use this one. I think I used another one. I mean, they're all gray shimmers, so it's tough to really differentiate them. But I am excited about this color story that we have going on, though. I feel like it could be a lot worse. So let's keep on going here because I feel like this is going to be like the longest part of the video. Next up we have the Just My Luck palette. I feel like I'm crazy for doing this. Like, I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Let's see, in this one we get shade number 4. Shade number 4 is Big Banks, which is another shimmer. it would be nice to get another matte, not gonna lie. Next up, let's go into the Ooh La La palette, which is the pink one, and we're gonna see what we end up getting in this one. So we have shade number 3, and shade number 3 in the Ooh La La palette is a matte. It's quite a light matte though, it's called Poodle, so I don't know how this is really going to go with the rest of these. I really wish I had gotten the black, because if I had gotten the black, this would have been a walk in the park for real. Like, I feel like I could have done anything if I had gotten the black in the Smoke Show palette. That would have been nice. I just wish that I get like one dark matte. That's all I need. I just want a dark matte. Let's get into the Lilac You A Lot palette, which we're not going to get a dark matte in because there's basically no dark mattes. But hopefully we'll get another matte. That would be very nice and make it a lot easier for me here. So in this palette, we're going to be working with shade number 4, which is Wake Me, which is another shimmer. Now let's move into the main Squeeze palette, which I'm just not happy about the matte color story that we have going on. Obviously, you don't really know as well as I do. Did I draw anything? No, I did not. Let's try this again. So we have shade number 7. Like I was saying, you guys don't really see the whole color story together like I do. We did get a matte though, which is nice. This is Seed Money. Is that what that's called? Seed Money. Okay, so gonna pop that out, and then we have one more palette left. I think I said I had 12 palettes, but I have 11. But that's way more than enough anyway for this. I feel like maybe I have more Juvia's Place palettes than I do have Colourpop palettes. I'm not really sure, but honestly, I'm kind of happy that you guys wanted to see Colourpop, because it's a lot easier to just depot these and put them into a palette so that I can see them all together instead of having 11 palettes like spread across my desk here, because that would have made me absolutely crazy. So last up we have the Chasing Rainbows palette, which is the last palette that I have from Colourpop, and this one has 15 shades in it, so I'm going to change this from 1 to 9 to 1 to 15, and then let's see what the last shadow is going to be here. Did I do anything? I don't think I did. And the last shadow is shadow number 6, or 5 I mean. Oh, and that is a dark brown. I'm honestly like so happy about this. I've never been happier to get a brown in my entire life. Let me just tell you that. So you know what, this color story is really not all that bad. So this is what I have to make a look with, and I have to use all of these. I think I'll be able to do this. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like I'll be able to make something sort of cohesive, hopefully. I don't really know. I am going to double check though and just make sure that I don't have any more Colourpop palettes, because I feel like I have another one and I just don't know what it is that I'm missing. So let me just take a quick look at my collection and just make sure I didn't miss anything. So that was definitely it. I think I'm going to go ahead and swatch these out for you so you can see what we have to work with here. And I'm also going to rearrange these a little bit in my palette so that I have the shimmers and the mattes kind of separated, because it's going to make it a little bit easier for me to just kind of see where we are at and what it is that I need to work with here. Okay, so my thoughts looking at these swatches is that I don't have much of a choice on what to do like in my crease and stuff, because all of these shadows go very nicely together, so it's really just going to be a very warm crease, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what I'll do on my lower lash line or my lid, but I'm gonna think about this for a little bit. I do think that this is going to end up like looking okay. I'm thinking I want to do one of my crazy wings, because it will just leave me a lot of room to put down the shimmers, and I think I'm gonna need that because I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shimmers that needs to all go on my lid. I guess I could use one of them on my lower lash line. I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet. I'm gonna prime my eyes and I'm going to think about this for a while. Probably like 10 minutes. It'll be like 2 seconds for you. I'll figure out what to do and then I'll come back and we can get started with this eye look. Why am I doing this to myself? This might have been a bad idea. I'll be right back. Okay, so I think I sort of have a plan with this, like kind of. So I'm first gonna start off by taking this yellow matte, which is from the Honey palette, and I'm going to put that into my inner corner because I'm definitely going to end up having the gold shadow in my inner corner as well. So I feel like this is just going to work out really well here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pack this on. And I'm going to blow this out quite a bit because, like I said, I am probably gonna have that other shimmer shade in my inner corner as well. So I do want this to show when my eye look is all done here. So next up, what I'm going to do is, I think my plan is going to be to use this kind of pink shade on my lower lash line, and then I'm also going to use this purple and this pink as well, and sort of use those to deepen up with and add a little bit of extra sparkle in the inner portion of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to use this dark brown as well as these kind of orangey shades in my crease. Now these two look very similar, so you're not going to see a difference at all probably in my crease with those two shades. So I'm first going to go ahead and take the dark brown here, and I'm going to put that basically in all of my crease from the inner corner to the outer corner of my eye here. And I'm going to keep this kind of low down, but just high enough up that once I go ahead and cut my crease, you'll still be able to see the shadow. I'm not going to wing this out at all because I am going to go in with an eyeliner and make that big wing that I like to do when I do looks like this. And I think just because I want to try to make sure that all of these colors do show up on my eyes when I'm done, I'm going to take this shadow right here, and I'm going to put that in the inner portion of where I put down this crease shade and use that to blend out the inner portion with. And then I'm going to take the more kind of red shade on the outer portion here and try to blend this out. You're probably not going to see a difference when I do this, but you know what, I'm gonna try anyway and just really try to make sure that all of these shadows are visible when I'm done with this look. So I'm first gonna go ahead and dip into this orangey brown here, and I don't even remember which palette this was from anymore. I'm gonna have a hard time like putting these shadows back in where they belong because I'm gonna have to look up some colors and stuff to see where I ended up taking them from. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending this out here. I'm gonna pull this about halfway across, and it's okay if I blend this into the yellow a little bit because they're going to mix very well here. Alright, and then to blend out the outer portion of my crease here, I'm gonna go into the shadow right here. We're gonna go ahead and use that to put over the outer portion of my lid here. Again, I'm gonna keep this very round, and I kind of feel like you can see the difference between these two, at least I hope so. So I'm not sure when my camera stopped recording, but I feel like you could see that I put down this kind of red shade here. So I took this one and I blended out the brown that I had on the outer portion in my crease. So I think next what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my lower lash line, and for that I'm going to just use the pink shadow right here. I think that's going to be the plan for now, and then I'm going to go in with some of these shimmers like I said and use to deepen up this shadow width. So I'm just going to really smudge this underneath my eye here. Oh, and that is a beautiful shadow. I don't think I've used this one yet. So before I go ahead and do my wing part and cut my crease, I'm gonna take a little bit more of this dark brown and just really make sure that the crease is as dark as I want it to be here. And then I need to decide if I want to do the actual wing, like the outer portion of my wing with black, or if I want to maybe do it with the shadow that I'm going to have in the outer portion of my wing here. I have yet to decide exactly what I want to do with the rest of my lid, but I'm pretty sure I'll have room for all of these shimmers because I think I only need to use 4 of them because I am going to use 2 on my lower lash line as well. So I actually think I'll be okay. I'm pretty confident that whatever I end up doing from here on out is going to work out pretty well. The only thing is I need to not mess up my wing and make sure that that looks even. But other than that, I think I'll be able to fit all of the colors that I need onto my eyes without too much of an issue here. So this shadow is building up kind of weirdly. It's leaving a bit of a streak in my crease, but I think it'll be okay. I think I'm gonna probably end up cutting my crease high enough that that's not going to be a problem here. So I think from just like looking at the shadows, I think that the direction that I need to go in my wing is I'm gonna put this shadow right here on the outer portion of my wing. So this is kind of like a gray, so I feel like having a black wing is going to look pretty good. And then from there, I'm going to transition into the blue and then to the green and then to the gold in my inner corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a liquid liner here and do that outer portion of my wing with. This is not going to be a tutorial. I'm just going to do it the way that I always do it. I'm basically going to draw a triangle from the outer part of my wing and then draw it upwards and connect it to the top of the hood of my eye, and then I'm going to fill it in with the black. So I feel like the hard part is done. Now we just need to do the cut crease. So I'm going to take my P. Louise base here and I'm basically just going to do almost a full cut crease, but I'm going to cut my crease all the way out to where the first part of my wing here begins, and then just kind of connect it out here. And then I'm going to fill it in, and then we're going to go in with some eyeshadows and really complete this look. And I feel like this is going to turn out pretty good. I mean, I have pretty high hopes, so let's see how this ends up looking. So I am going to cheat a little bit. I'm gonna take a bit of this black eyeshadow from the Smoke Show palette just to help me transition into the other colors here, because I do want this to be, you know, nice on the outer portion of my wing. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of this black and just make sure that everything is looking kind of seamless here in the transition part. All right, let the fun begin. So I'm first gonna go into this gray shimmer here, and I'm going to put that, let's see, I have 4 shadows that I need to put on my eyes. So I'm gonna put that on the outer quarter or so, maybe like pull it in a little bit further so that I can layer the next one on top. But I'm gonna put that on the outer portion of my lid, and I will be spraying all of these just to make sure that they are nice and intense here. And I am getting pretty excited about this look. So let me go ahead and layer that gently just above that black here so that everything mixes nicely together. And I'm also going to have this be a bit of a diagonal transition into each color here. So next up, let's go into the blue here, which is for sure from the Blue Moon palette, because it's the only blue shadow in this little palette here. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I just did with the gray, but I'm going to place it obviously next to the gray here. Gonna pop that basically in the middle of my lid. I do need to make sure I have room for 2 more colors though, but I think that's going to be pretty easy. And then next up, I'm gonna take the green and do the exact same thing. I'm gonna leave a little bit of room just in the inner portion of my lid here for the gold shade, but I'm mostly going to focus the rest of the lid with the green here. And I actually feel like I got pretty lucky with the shades that I got drawn today, because all of the mattes work really well together, and so do all of the shimmers. So I can't really complain at all that the palette bingo gods tried to sabotage me, because I feel like this is the first time that I've actually been okay with like the color story that I've gotten in a palette bingo in a while. So even though it's a lot of shades, I feel like this definitely could have been a lot worse, and that, I don't know, I had a pretty easy time with this one somehow. So to finish off the lid part, I'm gonna go into the gold shadow. This was from the Make Up Your Mind palette. I really like this gold. It's not my favorite gold in my collection, but I feel like for being such an inexpensive little palette that I ended up getting for free because it was a gift with purchase, not complaining about this gold at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on the rest of my lid here, which is not a lot of room, but I am going to layer it just a little bit over that green to just make a bit of a lighter green transition here. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working on the lower lash line here now. So my plan is going to be to take this purple dark shimmer here and basically just put that all the way across my lower lash line, just closer to my lashes than where I have this other kind of transition-y shade. And then I'm going to pop this one, which is going to be the last shade, just on the inner portion and kind of layer it on top of where I put down that dark purple. So I'm first going to take the dark purple and I am going to spray this as well. And I'm just going to kind of smudge that underneath my eye here, closest to my lower lash line. I do want to make sure that that pink is still showing, so I don't want to blend this out too far, but I do want to add a lot of depth to this look underneath my eye. So I'm going to take a little bit more of that pink shade and just really make sure that that shadow is still showing. So this is the pink matte. I'm just going to go ahead and just blend a little bit here. And then for the last shadow, let's go into this kind of light pink duochromy blue pink shimmer. Gonna give that a spritz as well. And then I'm just gonna pop that on the inner portion here of my lower lash line, just kind of layering that over everything that I've put down here. And I think this is just going to make it all kind of come together. So I really like how this is looking, but am I crazy for feeling like something is missing in my inner corner? Like I'm tempted to just find like some kind of a lighter shimmer to put in there, but maybe I'll just take a bit more of the yellow and just make sure that I swirl this properly so that I get a nice like inner corner highlight, because I don't want to really cheat with this because I had so many colors to work with that I don't feel like I need another one. So I'm just taking a little bit more of this yellow and just really popping that in here. And I feel like that worked out pretty well. So I'm really happy about this. I think I'm just going to finish off my eyes. I think that's all I wanted to do. I don't know what I'm going to do in my waterline. I might just go with black all around and kind of play it safe because there's a lot going on right now. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and then put on some kind of a lipstick that's going to go with this. God knows what that's going to end up being, but I'll be right back. Okay, so the look is all done and I think this came together very well. Do I have mascara as much as my crease? I sure do. I need to remove those. I'm gonna take a spoolie and just kind of scrape these off. I did not even realize that that happened. But it's nice with mascaras that you could just wait for it to dry and it'll just come right off, or at least enough that you can't really see it. So I think that looks okay. So this is the completed look for my lipstick. I went with like kind of like a burnt orange kind of lipstick. This is the Gingerbread Man from Too Faced. This is from the holiday collection. I feel like this goes pretty well with this. I don't know, maybe I could have gone for like a more of like a brown or possibly a very nude, but I don't know. I think this kind of completes the look. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you would have done anything differently with these colors. I feel like I didn't really have like a lot of options when it came to what to do in like my crease. I was kind of stuck with like just browns, you know, because that's basically all I had except for the yellow and the pink, but I think I did okay given what I had. Obviously I don't have to do like my giant wing every time I do these palette bingos, but it's just a really great way for me to be able to fit a lot of stuff onto my lid because it just frees up a lot of room, and I don't know, I feel like it's very flattering on my eyes as well. So let me know what you think of this look. Should I do Juvia's Place next? I'm terrified because that's going to be so much harder because I actually think I have more Juvia's Place palettes than Colourpop, but let me know if you want to see me do that. I could probably do it. I can't promise that it'll be anytime soon, but I'll put it on my list of things to film, which is like a never-ending list. I'm sure you can relate if you have a channel, but that list is just, it's so long, which is a great thing because I'm never going to run out of things to film. So that's going to be it for today's video. If you want to see 2 other palette bingos that I've done that's been a little less crazy, I'll pop those up on my screen and you can go watch those. And if you're new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.